So the largest two-digit number is 99. What's the smallest? Smallest one is 00. So how many two-digit numbers are there altogether? 100. 1 to 99 plus 00. So two-digit PIN number, there's 100 of them. Three-digit PIN number better be more than 100, right? Because it's more of those. And if you're having trouble, think about how do you get two digits, how do you get to 100? That might give you some hints of how to get there with the three-digit. So take another minute. Is everybody done with this? Do you guys want another minute? Another minute? No? Everybody's good? Okay. So here's my phone. I need to pick out a three-digit code. What's the first thing I do? 000. Yeah, I know. One of my students was at my Math 50 class. I did that, and they're like, "That's a really bad code, Ms. Young." It's like, I don't care. All right. So what's the first thing that I do? My first decision I'm going to make. Pick one. Pick one out of what? Out of 10. 0 through 9. So I'm choosing that first digit. So I'm picking 10. Okay, then what am I going to do? Yeah, pick another, the second digit. Again, 1 out of 10. So how many times am I going to do this? 3 times. So I'm making 3 decisions. What I like to do is, I think it's a good idea, whenever you have a decision to make, put a line for each decision. So then you know how many slots you're going to fill in. And then I'm going to do 10 for the first one, 10 for the second one, 10 for the last one, 1,000. Good? Great. 30 seconds with your neighbors or no? Yes, 30 seconds, go.
What's all supposed to do? Oh, because it's 10-digit code. I was thinking that in my head, but this is
Hey guys, who's GP? GP, Global Business, Computer Science, Psychology, Political Science. They were born in Tampa, or they live in Tampa, Livermore and Tracy. GP? No GP. There's no GP in this class, so I'm confused. All right, maybe somebody dropped. Okay, they dropped. No worries. Oh, Gage. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, thank you. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Alrighty, let's move on. Counting rules. Gina, hi, go ahead.
Factorial is a product of all the positive numbers from 1 to number.
And so that's called a factorial, an exclamation point. So n factorial means you start with n and you just count down from there so you get to 1, and you multiply all those numbers together. Please note that 0 factorial is defined as 1. So if you have 0 factorial, that is 1. Keep going.
3 factorial is equal to 3 times 2 times 1 equals 6, which is the number of ways to arrange 3 things. Red, blue, white can be ordered 6 ways.
Right? Yeah, so you could go red, blue, white, or red, white, blue, right, or so forth. Why is it? Because how many spots do I have? 3. How many options for my first spot? 3. How many options for the second spot? 2. How many spots for the last spot? How many options for the last spot? 1. Once I kind of get down there, 3 times 2 times 1, 6. So the number of ways of arranging 3 items. So everybody find 4 factorial. I don't think it's on your sheet. Just find it. Everybody find it. Check your answer with your neighbor, and I'll call on somebody in 15 seconds. Go. If you're not talking to your neighbor, I'll probably call on you.
Four factorial.
All right, Derek, how do you find 4 factorial? What was that? 4. I'm sorry? Times. Perfect. And what'd you get? 24. Excellent. Perfect. That's the number of ways of arranging 4 items, 4 things. We can also look at this using a tree, if we wanted to, right? Because you have 4 choices for the first layer of branches, and then you have 3 choices off of each of those branches, and you have 2 off of each of those branches, and then there's 1 at the end. What about a horse race? Who's ever heard of a horse race? Everybody, right? You have 8 horses. Can any of them win?
Yes.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't bother racing, right? So, how many possibilities are there for first place? There's 8 horses. How many possibilities for first place? 8. Any of them could win, right? Only one will, but there's 8. If you're choosing, if you're God and you're choosing who comes in first, how many choices do you have? How many options? You have 8. Does that make sense? How about for second place? After you pick one for first, then you have 7 left. Third place? 6. So permutations and combinations, we're going to talk about those next. That's when you cannot reuse items. Right, so the same horse can't come in first and second. You guys follow me? So once you use it, you can't use the same one again. So this is permutations and combinations when you cannot reuse items. The other stuff earlier is like when they're, like that doesn't matter if they're talking about shirts and pants because they're totally different categories. But we're talking like just if you have one big pool that you're picking from, and once you pick one, you can't pick the same one again. Right? That's combinations and permutations. We're going to talk about permutations first. So that's when you cannot reuse items and when order matters. So first is different than second is different than third. It's called sometimes written P8, 3 or 8P3. So we have 8 items. We're picking 3 of them, which means this. We have, how many are we picking? 3. So we're making 3 choices. So again, write out your lines, 1, 2, 3. And what's the first? I have 8. So that's the first number that goes in here. 8, 7, 6. Just go down 1 each time. Make sense? Your book teaches the permutations in a very confusing way. I would not even, normally your book is helpful. This section, don't even use it. It's not, the help buttons are not useful. This is the cleanest, clearest way of teaching this. The formulas are basically meant for, let's find a way of showing it mathematically. And it's complicated and not intuitive. So I am against memorizing formulas for memorization's sake. I think it's ridiculous. All right. Now, what if in this race you want to record the finish of every horse? It matters who came in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Right? Seventh would get, they get 2 points. It's like, they're in a league, so they get points for whatever place they come in. So they want to get as high as possible. So, how many possible finishes are there? So, this is 8P8. So what is that? How many spots? How many horses are we going to pick? All 8 of them, right? 8 spots. How many options for first place? 8. Second place? Next, 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 next. Good. It's also the same as 8 factorial exactly. The number of ways of arranging 8 items. So 8 factorial is a special case of permutations where it's 8 picking all 8 of them. Right? If you had 8, you picked all 8, then it's the same thing as 8 factorial. Number of ways of arranging 8 items. Or ordering. They say ordering. How many ways of ordering them? They mean, or ordering them meaning putting them in order, arranging them. Here's an example. Rosa, read.
A radio talk show host can select 3 of 6 special guests for the program. The order of appearance of the guests is important. How many different ways can this be done? Since the order of appearance on the show is important, there are 6 items,
6P3.
6P3 ways to select the guests.
Right. So, how many items do I have to pick from? 6. How many items am I choosing?
3.
So how many spots should I have? 3. What number goes in the first spot? The next? And the next? 4. Make sense? All right. Exams in 1 week, guys. So stay focused. So if you multiply all those out, you'll get, we'll do it here, 120. So this is what I would say is, if I were in your formula spot, this is what I would write. I'd start with n, and then multiply, so under your formula for NPR equals, I do this. Multiply down R spots. That's what I would put, because I think that makes a lot more sense than any actual formulas. It's just, right? So, start with n, start with 6, I multiply R spots, 3 spots, 6, 5, 4, 3 spots. And I'd probably just go ahead and do that, because it just makes it easier for me to know when to stop. Bless you. Okay. Do problem number 7 on your quiz. So first thing is, does order matter? Yeah, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So go ahead and work on this one. Right. Order matters. I'd much rather have a trip to Vegas than a $10 gift card. I want to be picked first.